Hello. So I haven't posted in like a year or so. Um, Kind of had a lot of tech issues and needed to like obliterate the little space that I was using for this and like some crafting stuff. Just 'cause we needed the storage, but I guess this will work. Sorry you're seeing the kitchen and all that. I'd prefer that not be in there, but I read a book that upset me a lot because it really sucked. And I thought I kind of miss yapping into the void here. So I have the goal of coming back soon. Oh, also, um, Dima's here with us today. He's being quiet for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, coming back with a polemic against Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. It was, I think, actually, I read it this year, so it wasn't the worst book I read last year. But it's the worst book I've read this year so far. But yeah, so I thought it would be, since it's been long enough since I worked on any of these that I kind of forgot, like, how to make them. Just a very casual, like, highlight reel, for lack of a better term, on, like, the best cozy media I've consumed since I posted here last. I also took a break from like the very stereotypical like regular cozy mysteries during that time. So I'm gonna be going into like some manga, games, webtoons, TV. So because just because I kind of explored some other stuff reading for a little while, like I still love that genre. But yeah, so for manga, I got really into Witch Hat Atelier, which is kind of like a Harry Potter magic school premise, but it's very wholesome. It has gorgeous artwork. Yeah, it's just a very wholesome story about like fairly young kids learning how to be witches. And there's more to it than that. But, like, don't want to give spoilers. Also, the magic system in it is really, I think, unique and original. It's not what I think of as like butt clenching magic, which is kind of like in Harry Potter. I guess you can say it comes down to like how well they pronounce the spells and all these different things, but a lot of it is also just like who is like doing this hard enough is like gonna cast the more powerful spell. And this isn't like that at all. It's a system that kind of brings some fun problem solving elements into it, and again really lends itself to like gorgeous artwork. Also, and I haven't used this yet, but they might even be turning this into like a spin-off series, but like a cookbook manga with the same characters, and it's just a very like cute, cozy cookbook. Have seen good things about it. I'll let you know again when I actually try it. Another manga, I think this is kind of an older one. I found it because our library had it on a featured shelf, and they've only got the first two volumes in right now, so that's as far as I've gotten. But it's A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch. And you could sum that up as saying it is like a cat isekai. Um, I didn't know what isekai was until recently, but it's just like a like trope or subgenre term for books where the main character basically wakes up and finds himself in another time or another dimension and just in another life, which is what happens to this cat from our world. Yeah, again, like avoiding spoilers, but he does wake up in another, like, more magical life and has to work his way through that. Yeah, also, side note, I think it's very hilarious that the most famous, like, non manga anime isekai is probably the Outlander series, and I don't think there's a lot of overlap between, like, Outlander and, like, anime manga enjoyers. There is some, don't get me wrong, but like not a lot of overlap. Yeah, anyway, so check that one out. Also, Laid Back Camp. That is a very low stakes just book about these high school girls who form a camping club. But it's pretty neat because it's very slice of life, but it's got infographics like worked into the story, and it teaches you a lot about like camping equipment and like weather and campsite considerations. And I've still never actually been camping, but it's made me want to a lot, and it's making me feel like a little more prepared to plan a camp. I get around to it. Really use the information about like campsites around Mount Fuji, but most of it is more broadly applicable. So I'd look into those. I read like volume one of Flying Witch. I don't remember a ton about it, but I liked it enough that I do still want to read a little more of it. Like it wasn't a super favorite, but if you want like a cute little, you know, witchy kind of in like the Kiki's Delivery Service vein manga, probably check that out. Um, that's another thing. I think I actually watched Kiki's Delivery Service since I posted here last, and that would fall under this umbrella too. It was like just so pure and happy and innocent that it made me cry. Um, I love that movie. Let's see. Sorry, I'm like referencing a little list. This is not manga, but a webtoon. Um, I still, what's held me back on the webtoons, I do get a little tired of like the recap, like overlapping portion, because I do usually find them and try to read a bunch at once. I'm not very good at staying in tune on like, I guess how it's meant to be consumed, but like starting a story and going back for the updates every week, it's not quite how I roll. So I get frustrated with the repetition and the recap panels and the coin system because I don't want to pay for them. But that aside, I know of at least one webtoon that is just like fantastic original content. If it ever becomes available in physical media, like, you know, Insta purchase, Garden Club Detective Squad. And it is about a group of like maybe early high school girls. I get a little confused because it's in like the Korean school system, but like 14, 15-year olds. They're in this kind of neglected school club that just runs a garden like on the property at an all girls school there. And in the course of trying to grow their vegetables, they stumble into like a decades old like murder mystery at their school and have to start working on that. And of course, there's a lot of other narrative with like side plots and just about them growing up and like their friendships developing. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend that one. It's probably like the most unique thing I've got on this list that I guess just it's maybe a little underrated. What else? Book wise, like I said, I did step away from cozies for a little bit. I did continue on with series I've already posted about on here, like Ovidia Yu's Crown Colony series, the 1920s India Mysteries, Inspector Singh. I will probably just make like an update on those when I'm fully caught up or finished with all of them. Loved those. Some of the ones I branched out into, I wasn't thrilled with. Like I read 2 part Sugar, 1 part Murder. Some things I found like in my story graph review from that is like she's 25 and doesn't know what a VCR is. That doesn't make any sense. I think it was implied because she like grew up rich, but that still doesn't make any sense. For it being like someone about my age set in the present day, but let's see. The sheriff in the book was like unbelievably incompetent, and it was not considered a problem because she's like an ally, and I thought that was kind of weird. Got the dog running around a commercial kitchen thing, which obviously love Dima, love dogs, but that is very much a health code violation. On another odd thing, the character in this one was like a social media influencer, but not really doing anything with that, like not even trying. Basically, she would just post like random pictures of her dog, and I'm not kidding. She'd get like a million likes on it. Um, this didn't seem to serve any real purpose in the book. There were like it would read you the caption and then literally type out like Dima, like a whole block of hashtags, which again just okay. There apparently was a lemon zucchini bread recipe at the back. I do want to go back and check that out. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't crazy about it. Another one, which I will say it was a bit better than this, but it was against the current. It's like a Caribbean bakery mystery. And I thought that was a neat concept. It's set in Brooklyn, not just like your random made up small town. Like, it was fine. I thought it got a little repetitive and maybe, I don't know, some of the characters just needed a little more development. I didn't write as good a review for that. Even though I did read it much more recently, it's just not totally fresh on my mind right now. But yeah, so I think that's about it book wise. TV, I did get insanely into Only Murders in the Building. Y'all have probably all heard about that. I'm just like throwing my approval in because why not? It's a murder mystery. It was great. Um, I think I did post that I was excited about starting a Nancy Drew mystery game, and that turned into like a wholesale obsession. I started with Shadows at the Water's Edge. I've played a little over half of them now. Not really in any particular order, but I have been working from like the older games into the newer ones, and they're just fantastic. Like, I know when people refer to like the cozy gaming genre, a lot of times they mean like Animal Crossing, resource management games like Stardew Valley, but I think point and click mysteries are. I mean, I like a resource management game, but like more interesting. There's like more of a narrative there, and it's just great. Like the Nancy Drew games. I know they're old. The older ones anyway. They don't have the shiniest new graphics, but they're very interesting and they teach you a lot along the way. The puzzles are good. And the Steam summer sale, as I'm filming this, is on, so a lot of them are like $3. I encourage you to try them if you're thinking about it. Uh, Another note with that, the 34th game, which came along after like a 4-year hiatus since the one before it, it is out. I have my physical copy on pre order, probably coming in sometime this month. I don't know when I'll actually get around to it because I think I want to play all the original ones before I move into basically like this one, Mystery of the Seven Keys, and the one before it, Midnight in Salem. They're kind of considered like a reboot instead of a true continuation of the older games because unfortunately, Her Interactive, they let all their developers that had worked on the first like 32 games go, outsourced it. They replaced the voice actor, the iconic Connie Manila. Um, I haven't played either of those yet, but I just know from reviews and like clips that I've watched that they're not going to be the same. But yeah, I just feel trapped because like I do want them to keep making those games. Another, I guess it's like point and click, but with WASD navigation. It's This Bed We Made. It's an indie game. It's set in like 1950s Montreal from the perspective of a hotel maid, and it was amazing. I am frustrated that this like point and click mystery genre isn't bigger than it is. And granted, this one it is a little more graphic than the Nancy Drew games. It's more focused on like the murder part, but it has a really strong narrative. It has like 9 different endings, which is not really a thing with the Nancy Drew games. I'm at like 1.5 playthroughs. So I only know the one ending, but yeah, definitely. Again, I think it's probably on the Steam sale. Check that one out. But Strange Horticulture. That's another just like little cozy puzzle game. You can get through it pretty quick, but it's got very nice artwork. I thought it was a very relaxing game, and it was interesting to see all these magical plants that they came up with for the game. I've also been getting like more into gardening and houseplants, like IRL, so it's a nice little overlap there. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it all up. Like I said, I want to come back and make like a hater video on lessons in chemistry because so many people I know who I usually agree with, or at least like strongly respect their opinions on books and media and literature and everything, really liked it, and I thought it was not worth the paper it was printed on. I think when I was posting about it in like my little book chat, I was like, I think she should be legally barred from opening a word processor for like at least a decade. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This channel is pretty much like Kim's cozy reads and also books that Kim really hates. So this will be in the latter. But yeah, Demon says hi, Demon says bye, and I'll get around to it soon, hopefully.